Alright, hello to anyone out there who may be watching this, whoever you are, whenever you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, thank you for taking the time to click on the video. What I'm going to be talking about here is my top 15 uh, favorite Pokemon from the original 150. I know 15 is kind of an arbitrary number. Usually people do like top 10s or um, maybe even like top five. You never really see top 15, but I figured instead of doing like a top 10 with honorable mentions, I'll just extend it out to 15. So at number 15, I have Arbok, um, which is the Cobra looking Pokemon. Looks like a snake. It's kind of a shame that they didn't make it more powerful um, than it was. But I think just in terms of character design, it looks pretty cool. And obviously the name Arbok is Cobra spelled backwards, which is cool. It's a poison type Pokemon. So yeah, at 15 I have Arbok. At 14 I have Machamp, which is a really awesome Pokemon, has 4 arms. It just looks like a Pokemon you would not want to get into a fight with because it would probably destroy you. Um, and it is the final evolution of Machop. Um, and I just think it's really cool. It's a fighting Pokemon, and just a straight up badass. So that's why I have Machamp at 14. At 13, I have Mewtwo. Um, Obviously, Mewtwo is kind of a fan favorite for a lot of people. It's a psychic type. It has a whole movie, the first Pokemon movie that came out, surrounds the character of Mewtwo. So I think it's a very mysterious Pokemon. Not as mysterious as the original Mew, I would say, but Mewtwo is definitely a badass. And I think it's just a really cool Pokemon. It's a legendary, obviously. So yeah, Mewtwo at 13. At 12, I have Hitmonlee. I don't know why I'm like saying these names all weird now with the video going, but Hitmonlee, I've always thought he was pretty cool and a lot better than Hitmonchan. Um, just he obviously uses his feet uh, for combat. He's, the name Hitmonlee is based off the martial artist Bruce Lee. And I think just his kind of martial arts influences and um, you know, the fact that he can kick like crazy and stuff. I just think that's really cool. I think he's pretty underrated too. Like not a lot of people talk about Hitmonlee, but yeah, he's cool. So that's my number 12. Number 11 is Psyduck. Um, and I think Psyduck is probably um, one of the best. I don't know what the term is, but the most basic form, like not evolved form, uh, from the original 150. Golduck is pretty cool too, but Psyduck is just a classic character. If you've watched the anime or the movies, he's there for comedic relief, and I think he's just a great character. So Psyduck at 11. At 10, I have Muck. I think Muck is a pretty underrated Pokemon. He um, is the evolved form of Grimer, obviously. And I don't know this for sure because I don't remember how strong he was in like the games and stuff, but I feel like he'd be pretty like powerful. Um, and I just feel like he's underrated in a lot of ways. Not a lot of people talk about him. Obviously a poison type. So yeah, Muck at 10. At 9, I have a Pokemon that is definitely a fan favorite. and that very few people out there don't like, and that's Snorlax. Obviously, the attitude of Snorlax is just relax, eat, sleep, don't get a lot done, just be a lazy mofo. And yeah, I think Snorlax is great. He's very powerful as well. And you know, he makes some appearances like in the anime and stuff. And you know, for him to not have any evolved forms, um, you know, beyond Snorlax, I think for him just to be a standalone Pokemon, and be that strong is pretty cool. So 9 Snorlax, 8 is Primate, um, which is a fighting Pokemon that is the evolved form of Mankey. Mankey is a pretty weak Pokemon, if I gotta be honest, but Primate is uh, a badass. He's got like the boxing gloves, and um, you know, I remember like one of the first episodes of Pokemon I saw with the anime was when Ash had to go fight like a Primate in like a gym type of scene. So I have like early memories with Primate, and yeah, I just think he's like a badass. At 7, I have Raichu, underrated Pokemon. Everyone always talks about Pikachu, but people forget about Raichu. And I think he's very similar to Pikachu, but just like more powerful and just an upgraded version. So Raichu at 7. And of course he's an electric Pokemon. Electric is my favorite type for anyone who doesn't know. And then Rideon I have at 6. I remember getting like a Rideon card from the trading card game when I was a little kid, and he's like this dinosaur looking guy with like a big horn on his head, and he just looks, his character design is pretty cool. And he kind of looks like a mini Godzilla, something, you know, just a Pokemon you would hate to get into a fight with. He's, I believe, a ground type. So Rhydon at 6. Again, kind of an underrated Pokemon. 5, I have Pidgeot. I really like flying types as well. Even though Pidgeot is a normal type, and you know, in the old school games, Pidgey was like one of the first Pokemon that you would catch, and I remember always in like the Gen 1 games, Pidgey was the one that I would teach how to fly. So whenever I would need to get around the game quicker, I could use Pidgeot and the fly ability. Um, so yeah, Pidgeot at 5. Um, and then at 4, I have Geodude, which might surprise some people. And people might be like, well, why don't you have Graveler or Golem? Um, like before, what I said with Psyduck, Geodude is probably one of the best non-evolved forms, like just the most basic form of the evolution out of the original 150. I just really like the design when you really think about it isn't that great. It's just a rock with like 2 arms, but um, I feel like I just like Geodude um, just as a design a little bit more, especially more than Graveler, because Graveler just kind of looks weird, but um, Golem looks kind of cool too, but I gotta give number 4 to Geodude. Number 3 is Alakazam, my favorite psychic type for sure from the original 150. Um, and I think this Pokemon is pretty underrated. Again, psychic type. It's the most evolved form of Abra and Kadabra. Um, and yeah, it's a pretty powerful Pokemon. And I remember having an Alakazam card when I was younger too, so I have the connection there. Um, So yeah, Alakazam at 3. Number 2, I have Blastoise. But I'm gonna also lump Squirtle in with that, which I know is kind of cheating, but oh well, it's my list. I can do what I want. Blastoise at 2, just being the most, uh, just being like the max evolved form of Squirtle, and just being like this badass, turtle Pokemon, having the 2 water guns on his back, I think looks really cool. Um, and yeah, I always thought, because when the original 150 or 151 came out, everyone always talked about Charizard, and so that immediately made me want to choose like a different starter, and you know, try to see if one of the most evolved forms could compete with Charizard, and I feel like Blastoise is like just as good, um, as Charizard in a lot of ways. And then obviously Squirtle, I just think is like a really cute Pokemon, and is the, um, you know, kind of the, um, it's the starting point, which will eventually become Blastoise. So for me, Squirtle is at 2, and then number 1, if people out there know me, they know that I love this Pokemon, is Zapdos. Again, it's an electric type, which is my favorite type. It's from the original 151. And, it's a legendary Pokemon. And it kind of looks like, just as a funny note, it kind of looks like a Big Bird from Sesame Street on steroids. That's kind of how I look at Zapdos, and for that reason, he's pretty awesome. But yeah, that is my top 15 Pokemon from the original 151. I made this list years ago, probably like 5 years ago or so, back when I was still in high school. And if you see me looking over here, which I've been doing this entire video, it's because I have a list pulled up, just so I wouldn't forget any of the Pokemon that are listed there. So yeah, that's my top 15 from the original 151. Let me know if you like any of the Pokemon that I named, or do not like any of the Pokemon that I named. What are some of your favorites from the original 151? And yeah, that's basically it for this video. I hope everyone out there is doing well. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great month, have a great year, have a great life. Live, be happy. Go play some Pokemon or do anything Pokemon related, because Pokemon's pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically it. See you in the next video, whatever the next video might be. And yeah, take care. Okay. Peace. Bye bye.